and good morning. So, gonna give just a sec here for a couple people to start showing up. But yeah, so today wanted to cover a few things. First of all, essentially I wanted to start off with this crossback end room fight as a bit of a warm-up, but yeah, I wanted to do a few speedrun optimizations and see if that ends up being something that's useful for someone. Hopefully it will be. But yeah, we'll get to that in just a sec here. So, first thing, there was a question yesterday that came out. That was basically Mr. Royal. And yeah, he had a question of what exactly you're supposed to do with the crossback build with the with end room. It was specifically on the PS2 version, although having dug that thing out and tested it, it's pretty much the same thing. For whatever reason, in both versions, they seem to spawn in with like half their actual ammo. For again, I don't really know why, because you'd think even on hard mode that they would be, you know, showing up actually prepared, but apparently they decided not to do that. So, long story short, obviously don't need those things. Actually, to be honest, the first part of this fight is just spent dodging this thing. If you're unfamiliar with the deal is with the crossback build, by the way, pretty much he's that guy that's like the mid-boss kind of guy. He just shows up as the first one the Union hires. He's an utterly garbage build, basically mines the crappiest MG and some small rockets. Now, the whole reason I was mentioning the whole half ammo thing is because the only thing that's not easily dodgeable in this entire area is actually the EOs that the lightweight has, or the midweight rather. And, you know what? You can just pretty much avoid most of that. I only ever see him throw out like maybe 3 bursts and then he just stops. Actually, these AIs in general just kind of have a tendency to stop and die for whatever reason. It's kind of the main reason that this works so well. So yeah, obviously they hard stop all over the friggin' place. No real issues there. Usual kind of dodge kind of situation going on. Pretty much just whoever you get isolated first, that's the one you deal with. Kind of throw mines in their general direction. That's the thing. The question was largely on the mines, and you don't really use them as mines. They're basically just a crappy cannon volley for all intents and purposes. Since they actually even do less damage on the ground for whatever reason. But you can just do that kind of thing. And it's not even really strictly their damage. They can do about 1400 if they actually all connect, but by and large the idea is actually you're just going and getting them overheated. So they love getting stuck behind these pillars, you know, as you do. Slightly less so in the PS2 version, but they still do this exact same thing. They're a little bit more aggressive sometimes, but still. You know, it's not exactly anything terribly overwhelming here. Especially with this thing, since it's pretty fast. And I actually meant to boost back a little bit earlier there. Didn't quite happen. You know, what can you do? So these things scatter quite a bit, so usually you're still going to get something out of them. Usually it's only worth trying to fire them a second time once the first ones have already exploded, because the reload time is garbage. By garbage, I mean it is downright depressing. I'm like, okay, don't worry, we'll reload this over the course of the next 35 years. I'm sure it'll be useful at that point, right? There you go, that's pretty much the ideal, hopefully. I mean, obviously the crossback sucks for armor, but still, these guys are definitely not going and winning any crackshot competitions anytime soon. Neither one is friggin' RoboCop. They're just, I don't know, best case scenario rent-a-cop status over here. Throw that out, the other one might land on it. This genius might land on it, who knows? And yeah, since the question's gonna come up, this is on hard. Why would you play any other way? It's kind of the norm. Well, okay, it's funny I should mention that, because, no, speedrun, you would definitely want to play on normal just because it takes longer to select the hard option. And everything takes a little bit longer. But we'll be getting to that in a moment. I'm expecting people to need a couple minutes to actually start showing up. There we go. I should be pretty low at this point, so that's when we break out this stupid thing and pretend it does damage. Honestly, most of the damage is coming from the EO in this fight. But this thing likes to pretend, it likes to participate. It's like, look, I did something. Frickin' 72 damage a shot. What is this? So there we go. You know, this crappy little BB gun. The only thing it's got going for it is pretty okay accuracy. I mean, you can kind of pull off little burst snipes here and there. Really, it's just an extra. I mean, it's really the only lock-on weapon that he has aside from the EO. That's why you do this kind of thing, and it looks all cool. Even though, honestly, both of them combined is about the equivalent of using an actual weapon, but whatever. Do that. Throw that away. Go ahead and throw these away, and then we can just go this way. And that's basically the fight. Yep.
It's the controller's core.
Yep. So impenetrable. And then you drop 6 of them in this thing, and done deal. Actually, I think it was 5. Whatever. Usually throw out 6. So we're done here. So if you were ever wondering, for whatever reason, there you go. Pretty simple fight. Now then, we can probably go ahead and get to the actual speedrunny sort of thing. Now, where is that one? This one. And, no, don't accept settings, return to title. Let me go ahead and get the splitter set up here. Oh hell, I didn't even update my split thing. Last time I apparently didn't save it. So, alright, fair enough. Here is the split dealie. Does it show up? Yes, it does. I was having some issues with it saving up. Now let's go ahead and edit these. As you can tell, there's some issues with this one. Now, let's see, what did I forget here? Dang it, I had a pretty decent timing set up last time. I was going and double-checking the timings on this yesterday and had something sort of okay set up. The original times on this, by the way, I was basically just going and copying the head guy, Mr. Alien guy. Let's see here. For one thing, you know what? I think we'll just kind of do this on the fly. Why not? So let's see. Spread howitzer. I believe that was the coffee break after that one. Blue. Oh, it apparently decided to skip it. There we go, remove that segment. So, okay, so I'll go ahead and update this, you know, as we go on. Again, don't expect any kind of world record kind of crap from this run. This is just for the sake of showing off a few things I know. For the sake of disclaimer. Oh, hello, Mr. Pixel. So, just so you know, I'm not a speedrunner myself. These are just random tricks that I was going at. I was looking at the top speedruns. Like, you know, there's a few things here that I think could be improved. So, hopefully this is useful. So, yeah, alright, without any further ado, let's go get this train wreck rolling, huh? So, let's go to this, new game. Go do this, mash all the buttons, go to Black Feather, you know, the usual kind of stuff. So now the first one, I noticed that most were charging in right away. So, slight variation on that. I've been getting sort of consistent improvements here by just going and basically firing one missile at every single thing on the map, and then just circling back and doing it all again. Mostly because even though you can essentially save a little bit of time earlier on here, yeah, there we go, that guy just spawned in. You can save a little bit of... Well, you have to wait here for a little bit, obviously. But, since you gotta go ahead and wait a little bit of time anyway, you might as well just weaken what's here. I'll just give a few seconds here. Yeah, there we go. Got to about the 40-second mark. So then, pulling it down should... Yep, it triggers up one more. Now go ahead and weaken that one a little bit for Apple Boy. Gonna go get this one. And after this one, one more should spawn. If I'm remembering... Nope. Nope, we're good. So they basically just spawn in depending on what amount of time has already passed by when you're going and, you know, doing all that sort of thing. So this is... Yeah, this is on an emulator. Just because the whole process for setting up a PSP never seems to want to work for me. But the times are basically the same. Like, looking at the two next to each other, I haven't really noticed that big of a difference. So again, these are just kind of... Don't take this as a everything is scientifically perfect and all the emulation and everything is done on hardwares and all that sort of thing. Yeah, I don't... Like I said, I'm not a speedrunner. This is just for the sake of helping out those that actually are. So, Why the hell am I going to the mail? That's not what I should be doing. Sorry, impulses. Old impulses. Go ahead and sell these, go ahead and sell these. I'm gonna be doing one little different thing here. Yeah, I know these button presses here are so slow. God, what a scrub. So, go ahead and buy the quail. Instead of buying some of the other parts, actually, like starting off with the MG and Howie, actually. So there's just enough to make that happen. I should have done a practice run before this. Why did I not do that? Oh well. So first thing, defend the friggin' arena. Go ahead and roll this window down a little bit. As per usual, little boost tricks here. The Howie isn't actually necessary yet. The MG is all that's really needed here. I'm doing the usual tap trick, which is just so much fun. I love this. This little skatey tap trick. Ah, man. I love early 3rd gen. Friggin' actual... The hover legs actually were good. You know TBM? Yeah, he's awesome. He's actually started doing the AI arena thing also that I've been doing. I'm hoping he can just take over that project and then I don't have to do anymore. Although, to be fair, I think I'm probably done with that project for now anyway. After a 4-month-long tournament, I think I can give it a little bit of a rest. It's hard to play without radar? Yeah, so this route, completely without radar, although this is largely because I have this thing memorized better than the back of my own hand, quite frankly. I've been playing this game since... hell, pretty much since the year it came out, in different versions. And I pretty regularly do other just regular runs of this whole thing. Yeah, I'm still bad at speedrunning it, go figure. But yeah, this little hover trick, though, is easily one of my favorite reasons why I love this game. One of the main reasons I love the quail so friggin' much. It's so great. Hover, 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 where's Mr. Guidos? There you are. He's here to steal your paycheck. Now, as per usual, just gotta go get the destroy notification. I believe that's what actually triggers whether or not you get paid for the particular things. So even if his missiles hit it, if you get a couple shots off, I believe it still counts. Because yeah, he's mostly here just to steal your paycheck. Here's come to take your jobs. Go for extremely light builds with strong armaments. Yeah, I usually go for, like, high mobility, high defense, and then just whatever will fit on top of that. No, I screwed this up. Hopefully not. Yeah, I don't think they start doing the majority damage thing until later. Also, this little hum with the music in the background always makes me think my phone's going off. Oh man. Gato is getting friggin' played by this MT over here. So the one thing about the strategy, if you end up mistakenly firing the howitzer at any point early on, it kinda screws up the finances for it. So yeah, kinda gonna be using it sparingly. There's a reason that I prefer this one over the flamethrower. Like, it's true, on some of the AC fights it's a little bit slower. However, there's... Why is this not over yet? Should be one or two more. Is that the last guy? Verdict Day? Yes, I actually really liked Verdict Day. 5 less so, but I was glad to just have another AC out at the time. 5's multiplayer was a bit better. Verdict Day's single player was a bit better, I think. Just because I really love the hardcore mode. Okay, so there we go, we're done here. But yeah, and that one was probably the epitome of my favorite build. Because I always love heavy reverse joints and just putting whatever armor is, like, whatever extra armor is possible on it. And so for that one, let's see, it was basically just an extreme heavy RJ with just like with a shield and 3 guns on it. Okay. That's not the one I should have gone for next, but whatever, good enough. Okay, so the nice thing about the howitzer here, you can occasionally fire over stuff, so you can get to stuff a little bit sooner. This one in particular I'm not fantastic at, but there we go. Don't need to use anything on this last guy. Done. And we're done here.
That's all of them.
Always get a little bit paranoid with that little gap. Oh no! Oh no, I ruined it. I actually do think they will make an AC6. They already confirmed as much, but they already said they're working on something. Drop that. I know, I did these in the wrong order according to my splitty dealy. Fine. I think the Howie actually makes this one a fair bit faster. We got these. Gonna burst down these ones.
Destroy all forces occupying the facility.
Go ahead and do that one. Go ahead and do that one.
Any of the mine.
Go ahead and do that one. We'll get this one on the way back. Yeah, so the only RNG issue here is with them running back and forth. Jeez, I'm screwing this up pretty bad. But yeah, I noticed that the top record time actually had issues with that right there. So technically speaking, they can go around corners, which is a little bit of an annoyance. The howitzer should be able to assist with that in certain situations. So yeah, this is going to be personal best at best. Fired a little bit early. Oh yeah, we're reveling in the incompetence today. Gonna go ahead and miss all of the ones that I need to be hitting. Obviously, if this was a little bit more optimized here, what we'd need to do is go and get all of these and kind of gun them down all friggin' Kingsman style through here, but no luck. You busy with DS and that other samurai game thing? Well, no, they already said that they had 3 things coming out. They already said that Daracene, or whatever the hell it's called, is not one of their big things. So that basically leaves their last thing. What the hell was I supposed to be doing next? Oh. And there, that's when I should have been doing my buying and selling. We go to the generator, sell the generator. I'm gonna go over here, buy this thing. As you can tell, I already screwing the pooch on this one. And yeah, there we go. I screwed up the thing on that one because I fired it 1 extra time. Oh hell, you know what? Screw it. We're starting this one from scratch here. Let's see. Do you want to update your times? Hell no. I screwed this up. So.
One entity ruled the world.
Nope.
It was
We're doing this right. Why is it not... Do the thing, come on. That settings no, go back, return to title, okay. New game, start the clock. Figure it's close enough to just restart it. Yeah, Finn, so Souls did really well, but already their president guy is friggin' sick of it, and I can understand why. Because it basically, Souls was a combination of several series that they had tried previously and failed. Also... Okay, we are unfortunately tag teaming a bit too well with Appleboy here. Okay, let's slow the roll just a little bit. Yeah, we get that one. Okay, we've reached 40 seconds. We're good to go. Oh yeah. It's stun locked running around that corner. Perfect. Yep, nope. Yeah, this is a good start. This is a pretty fantastic start. Now, this time, hopefully, Mr. Appleboy will suck a little bit more. Oh, whoops. Not what I meant to do. There we go. Let's see. Sometimes sound like you're talking to a dog who's deaf. Well, sorry. Throw that one out. Good. Appleboy went off to the side. Go ahead and damage them all up a bit. This one should have spawned in.
Cross it. You've abandoned the mission.
Taking a little bit. Okay. The back one spawned in. good. I don't know why he decided to spawn over there this time, but whatever floats his boat, I suppose. I'm sure there's more exact timing to be discovered on these guys, but that seems to at least roughly approximate where they should be spawning in. So there we go. That sort of thing. That. And that actually didn't even destroy him. I apologize. This is probably the worst I've ever started this particular thing. Such things happen. Don't take it as an insult. Man, I'm used to getting insulted all the time. It's fine. I don't take anything as an insult. I'm fairly well deserving of insults. There we go. We do that one, which I'll fire into a pillar, because yes, this time nobody will sidestep these. There we go. Everybody's all well and injured. Now we're going to go this way. He didn't sidestep around the corner. Sometimes he actually does run around this corner, and it's very handy. There we go, injure him a little bit. Now, where's this one? Where are we at? Okay, Appleboy can't seem to figure out to go destroy that one over there, so we're going to go ahead and walk back here. Usually about the 40-second mark that you should be good to start eliminating stuff. Give or take. Unfortunately, it has decided to do that same weird spawn pattern twice in a row. But that one that I was showing off the very first time, that's usually seemingly the ideal, because you can just make a complete little circuit. Usually Appleboy will take out this one over here, which will essentially allow you to go and do this a little bit faster. But unfortunately, he is kind of a finicky bastard, so... There we go.
All enemy units destroyed.
Alrighty.
Well, welcome to the ranks of an elite few. Ravens.
An elite few. That's why there's so many of them. Also, considering Adieu has a job, I'm not sure how elite they are. Man, Adieu is awesome. Now we mash buttons. Over here, sell legs, sell this. And we go over here. This. Over here, buy this. I should be... What did I do wrong? Oh. Derp. All those. Do it right. Whatever. Perfect button presses, never been my thing. I was second-guess myself way too much for that. Which is kind of funny, because you'd think I'd be pretty good at that sort of thing, considering I used to be a violinist. This thing? Favorite AC opponent in any game? Currently, it is one of Mr. Javelin's AIs, who I have nicknamed Gary. It's basically this AI he made in Silent Line. Thing's just like a crazy, advanced, dodgy, like ridiculously dodgy AI. So the other day I was doing a thing where I was going and fighting, basically every time it comes out with a new arena, I go and fight the thing with rockets only. Just manual fire is absurdly satisfying, so I pretty much go and try to beat everything with only rockets, and so yeah, this thing was coming out, and it was this whole bizarre figure 8 pattern that ended up being needed in order to be able to actually pull it off. Like, he was going and just pretty much dodging out of the way of everything, because he was basically meant to fight OPI ACs. So, by the way, you may notice a lot of these times are kind of completely off. This is mostly because I believe it saved the times from one of the test runs I was doing, in which a bunch of stuff was, you know, completely jacked up and whatever else. So who knows? Probably completely incorrect times. Actually, no, I think I was going and I was saving it one segment prior or something. Something like that. Anyway, we're gonna try to get these numbers accurate this time. I don't really know what just happened there. I got stuck in the textures. Never actually seen that happen. Which things will occur. Don't know why I'm even keeping the howitzer. I can just throw it away. I believe it's about 200 bucks per shot for that thing. But yeah, as far as in the games themselves, though... I think probably Crossback. Just because he's completely and utterly jank. Like, everything about his AC makes no sense, and that's why I went ahead and, well, basically ran through 3 and SL using only that thing. Actually went and ran Last Raven using that thing too, and that was a pretty sucky experience. But yeah, it's basically a thing with the crappiest machine gun, the second crappiest energy shield on left hand, anti-missiles, inside mines, and a pack of small rockets, and that's it. It's got the Orca EO, but still, you know, it's only gonna carry so far. I'll get the other little one that's running around at some point. Best build? I mean, that's subjective. Everything is gonna be countered by something. Not to mention it depends by generation, too. Like, first generation, for example, is pretty much anything that can equip the Sawa is pretty much golden to win against anything. Late first generation is just anything that doesn't use 1000 MG, quite frankly, because that thing got bizarrely broken. Let's see, we get into second gen. That one was pretty much all about pistols, so those were pretty fantastic. We get to third gen. Pretty much my favorite thing is what I like to call the Coffee Hawk. Is basically a hover build that makes use of this little stagger hover trick. That's triple missiles, the lightweight missile extensions on, or no, the swarm missile extensions on the sides, the MG EO, and let's see, the howitzer and 500 MG, or 800 MG, I'm sorry. So the thing is just basically ridiculous DPS. Let's see, late third gen. Personally, I liked what I like to call the rigid beef combo, which was the kind of which ones? I think it was the Cougar ones, the ones that have all the really sharp edges on them, with the Loris arms. Okay, next we need to do the mine. But yeah, that thing could functionally just go and tank shell damage all day. Pretty fantastic. Okay. Burst fire. I'm gonna try to only use one howitzer thing per room. The main benefit over the flamethrower thing for this section, just so you can get by it a little bit faster, we can get that guy on the way out. Come on, little guys. Yeah, it's all whether that first one sidesteps your howitzer or not, because you can save a few seconds that way. And sometimes you can lock on to the little Roomba MT that's behind that one right there. As you circle around the corner. I should probably go ahead and mark that one, huh? I forgot to switch the split. There we go. Now, I've seen most of them have been going in overboosting. Crap. Well, there goes the howitzer for this room. Now, the ones that I saw seem to be making extensive use of overboost, which, I mean, it helps, but I feel like it doesn't exactly do as much time save as you get for just doing this. Because this build still has a pretty decent amount of energy up until you do the boat. Obviously, at that point, you probably need the Raws and Malums to make it by. But yeah, as far as overboosting and everything else, I don't think it's worth it because I don't really see a lot of canceling out of that. Play standoff. Didn't mean to select anyone. So yeah, you can just go do this. This one is, like I said before, more or less the same as the flamethrower strategy.
They sent in a raven.
A little bit. There we go, and that's done, and that's done. I don't know where we'd actually be going, or for that matter, how the hell we even got in here. I guess this door... You can never open this thing, though. Doesn't even have the option to open it. And yes, I am going and selecting these on the completely wrong time. As you do, as you do. So End Rebellion is actually going to be for Rebellion Part 2. Why are my controls not responding? There we go. Okay, instead we got Defend Nair Bridge. That's fine. Would have been nice to have the generator for this one, but that's fine.
Watch your footing.
Hello, bridge. Actually, I'm going to go for these ones first. Because I forgot to pick up the generator before this. But for the sake of safety, like I would say the safety version of this is just doing this with the basic generator. Oh, dang it. Yeah, sometimes this guy likes to run over here. The best part about this map. Whee! Fall out of the map. S rank. Fall off map. That doesn't really save anything, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do it that way. Now, I'm going to actually do this whole generator switch properly because I need to get the raws. Right. Go. Now we do Rebellion Part 2. Ever played Dark Souls? Yes, I actually like it very much. I've played dang near every single thing that FromSoft has released in the West. Like, aside from, I think the only thing I haven't played is Bloodborne because I don't have a PS4.
There are 3 left.
But I have all the other ones that are on PC and whatnot, so this right here is one of those ones where I feel like the Howie is a pretty major time saver if done right. I'm pretty sure somebody that knows what they're doing could go ahead and locate where all of them are specifically. I know vaguely where all of them are. And then just kind of do it this way. Xbox user? No, PS3. I mostly play on PC, but I have a PS3. Okay, I messed up the timing on that howitzer. There we go. That one I'm kind of okay on because I like using the howitzer at this part, so I at least have some practice with it. That. Now, overboosting obviously messes up your aim, so that we should be done here. Sometimes it likes to try and fire the howitzer when you're going and doing that sort of thing. Not really much that can be done about that, but the whole losing due to $400 thing is not exactly something that comes up anymore now. So from here on out, pretty much as soon as they can be afforded, I want to get the, what's it? Nope, don't hire anyone, move on. I want to get the energy extension, and I want to, well, the energy extension on the shoulders, and then also the energy extender optional part. And, yeah, that's basically all that's going to be needed. So the Roz is pretty much the best generator. It's going to keep everything going all game. Lets you do this kind of perma-flying situation.
Target's closing.
Yes. Now, this is another potential time save with the howitzer, because essentially it spawns in more as soon as these ones are gone, so you can get them at a longer distance. But there's that. I don't know if it spawns only when the first ones are gone, or just spawns the next wave a little bit sooner if you get the other ones done. But either way, there's potential for spawning them a little... How the hell are you still alive here? There's potential for spawning them a little bit faster. Again, for my run, probably expect best case scenario like sub 2 hours, but I'm pretty sure somebody could accomplish about an hour doing this actually competently. What the hell? How did that guy survive? Fine. Jeez. I'll just go ahead and flub everything. So yeah, I'm mostly a challenge runner of this thing. Like, friggin' beat the entire thing with a parry blade and napalm rockets? Sure. Did that. It was pretty fun. Beat all of early 3rd gen with a friggin' starter? Sure. No problem. Beat it all with crossback? Sure. It's speedrun it. My brain cannot handle this. It's mostly because I'm really bad at remembering things. Like, I get made fun of for that all the time. Like, I'll just completely forget stuff I was doing right as I was doing it. All the friggin' time. But yeah. Really no need to bother with that guy. Actually, no, he already did the dialogue earlier, so maybe there's a point. No howitzer for him, though. Go. Now, if you're wondering whether the Howie is as fast as the flamethrower, as far as fighting ACs and that sort of thing, it actually can be. It depends entirely on how everything goes, but it actually can be equally as fast and just basically allows for engaging stuff at a farther range, potentially saving time that way. Go. Now we do survey. Now this one is a pretty minor one, but this one does have seemingly a thing that might save a second or two.
Survey team needs assistance. Hurry up and find them.
Move it! We need help now!
Yes, yes.
Survey team identified.
So it'll spawn a couple more drones even if you shot all the ones on the way over here. I might as well go forward and clear them out. With this guy, unfortunately the range thing doesn't help too much for these guys, because if you end up firing at range, most of the time the survey team actually just runs in front of you and then you end up shooting them, and surprisingly they can take a few shots from the howitzer with no real problems. Now I'm going to go ahead and take these guys out early, because I need them not to be a factor later. Go. Perma hover.
Reinforcements are closing
But yeah, so on the question earlier about Verdict Day, actually one of my favorite things, one of my favorite hopes for a potential remake of the series is to have these earlier games while having the hardcore mode from that thing. Easily my favorite thing about Verdict Day. Now we wait for the text box to appear, and this skips their dialogue. And like, oh, thanks for your help and everything else, and it just skips straight to this. So I believe that ends up skipping a little bit. Not 100%, but, you know, seems like it might do something. Next is Diet 9 Ball. AKA the escaping MT.
Raven.
So if you've got perma-hover going, you can actually make it all the way down this, but as soon as it restarts you, once the second one spawns in,
They took the bait.
it kinda screws stuff up. Ah, out of my way. They're right there. Like, this area is just slightly too steep. Do not run into the wall, touching it ends your OB. Now there's potentially a way to get a little bit of extra money right here by collecting this thing, but I'm not going to go ahead and sell it, I'm just showing that it's there. So if somebody's specifically running the PSP version and they need some more money to, say, get the Malums early or something like that, there's that. You know, you can potentially, I think it's like 36 or whatever for that head. Next is Destroy Nair. Thing.
Raven, there isn't much time. Hurry up and
There's actually plenty of time. There's not that much if you're actually going for the spread howitzer here. You can save a little bit of time by just continuously boosting and then switching over to the little stagger boosts in between. One thing I was able to do pretty inconsistently was essentially shooting that thing out of the way and kind of boosting around it. You don't get stopped there.
all demolition charges planted.
But, you know, that's a potential trick if somebody wants to try it. Could you see FromSoft making a World War AC game? That exists. I don't think you get to pick what nation you go with or whatever, but, oh god, what's that called? They actually did make that. It just sold really poorly. Okay, wait, I already did that one. And I need to go ahead and sell some stuff. No, wait, no. I'm mixing this up. That coffee break thing is actually supposed to be after Safeguard H2O. So go ahead and throw those two away, pick this up. Now, this is why I think the raws, saving up for the raws is way better than going with the original generator, because you can do a lot of this stuff way easier. Now this, like, these doorway tricks and whatever else, that's the kind of stuff that always screws me over in this. Because I suck at navigating hallways. Oh. That was my bad. Kind of funny that they only trigger leaving area once you get to the very bottom. I was basically hitting the wrong button for turning off my OB. You're supposed to essentially just flutter across to the other side. Fine, let's go ahead and do that again. This time with less abject failure. Unfortunately, that's a little bit of a time loss, but, you know, what can you do? Again, this is just for the sake of demo. And the timing is mostly for people that are actually keeping an eye out on how much time this takes, because I expect to screw some stuff up. Control issues are fun. Now, I will probably try for a solid attempt one of these days. Because like I said, I suck at speedruns. Probably will just take what's learned from this and so on up. But yeah, what you're supposed to do here, turn it off and flutter. And immediately already screwed that up. I did not OB long enough. You just kind of hover jump all the way over here. That's solid incompetence. I think one of the bigger time savers is actually going to be during the defend convoy bit. And why can't I not remember the name of that game that you were just talking about here? Steel Battalion, there we go. So, okay, so the first one that came out, it was actually on Xbox. Yes. I don't know why it brought up the cancel mission menu instead of the skipping the cutscene menu, but screw it. Such things happen. But okay, so I'm not talking about the one that they made for the Kinect. That thing was just hot garbage and nobody should ever talk about it, but basically the idea was it was this Xbox thing that came out that had pretty much the most ridiculous controller you've ever seen. The thing, I think they said it was like 64 buttons or some crap. And it was, for all intents and purposes, a mechanized World War II roguelike, in which if you got, like, if your character got killed off, your file was deleted. If you escaped, you could go you could go buy another mech or whatever else. But it was just essentially this, like, kind of clunky, sort of mech warrior looking situation. Fantastic. Alright, so now we're gonna go ahead and sell stuff. So sell this, sell this, sell this. And that is enough to get the Malum and get the optional part. Seems like canceling and going back is actually better than the other way around. Now, I also like to get the one for enlarging your sight lock, for reasons that should be pretty evident pretty soon here. Let's go ahead and put those two splits in there. And we do eliminate intruders, all that sort of thing. You got a brain freeze, how'd you do that? So we do that. Unfortunately, this is one part that is a little bit slower because of the howitzer. Because these tanks can't be hit by it. Those hovering things can be, but from here on out, money is no longer an issue of any kind. We're going to go ahead and get rid of those to make going back a little bit faster. Go ahead and take those out while mowing away any barricades. There you go. If you get far enough, you can sort of touch them with it. It's not ideal. So now we go back. Here's Mr. Crossback, the hardest boss that the world has ever seen. He's a guy that I've literally seen beat himself before. Pretty fantastic. For whatever reason, his AI is very prone to self-damaging with his mines. It's actually funny because when I remade him in Formula Front, he did the exact same thing. But there were times when he literally just was locking onto me from the other side of the wall, and he's like, I'm gonna keep firing these mines at the wall. Yeah, that'll show him. There we go. He's done. So, oh hell. Some random MT survived. That's annoying. Hi, random MT. Firing missiles larger than you. Right. I forgot to clear out this corner. That's what I did. Or didn't do, rather. Ate a whole ice cream with a single bite? Well, yeah, that'll do it. That'll definitely do it. Alright. So there we go. That's eliminate intruders done. So, to avoid any annoying resets or whatever else, should I, I'll probably just save state it before the convoy bit. I haven't had that one go wrong in quite a while, in quite a few attempts. But here we go. So this one is, I feel, the best time saver when it comes to the Howie. That one's gonna go. The idea is to basically set this up in a way that they start spawning exclusively in the hallways, and then you just pretty much predict shot all of them. Fortunately, sometimes they'll do that, but it's normally like 6 shots. 6 shots and a Howie per each one. As long as you're not a spaz like I am. Ugh. This is a poor example of what I'm trying to show here. This will get better over time. But the ideal is, yeah, you go by, you get a slight lock. Because the thing arcs, depending on how you're actually flying around, there's a pretty good chance of actually nicking them in the shoulder with a soft lock instead of a hard lock. Or, you know, if they're just skating around like that, and then they start spawning in the hallways, at which point you can just kind of do this sort of thing. Some of them will just rush out, obviously. Obviously, since money's no longer a concern, you can just be pretty trigger happy about this whole thing. You little dodgy dick. Actually, I feel this is probably the easiest way to do this one, period. Even better than 1000 MG. Doing this, and when you see a little graphical effect happen, that means they've spawned in somewhere. Really don't need these malums. They're needed for like 2 parts and that's it. They're needed for Spider and they're needed for the boat. That's about it. One more just spawned in somewhere. Now the weird graphical effect, I believe that's PSP only. It's just something weird about the way they spawn in. Sometimes they'll run behind stuff, but you know, you do as you do. Thankfully, this is kind of a timed thing anyway, so hopefully, you know, hopefully this is more of an effort saver than it actually is anything else. I mean, I guess the malums actually make part 2 of this mission a little bit faster. Let's go back and forth. There we go. That's what you want to ideally achieve. Like the sort of drive-by with a howitzer. Why are you being so finicky? How about you don't dodge, huh? It was holding on by a single screw. I think there's 2 left. If I'm not mistaken. Come on now. Now, as far as the whole save stating thing that I was mentioning earlier, obviously there's certain parts that can essentially just end off the run, as in it just deletes the save file kind of thing. So for those parts, I'm just going to do that since obviously I want to go ahead and complete this thing. So for those parts, I'm just going to do that for the sake of having it continue. I don't expect to run into problems with those, but you never know. It's AC after all. Now for this one, somebody could probably figure out ideal timing to overboost all the way to the other side, because it's pretty finicky about when it actually goes and moves the border thing over. I thought I figured out the exact timing earlier, and then I had to run pretty much die because, well, I ended up going and flying out of bounds. Ever played God Eater? No, but I have a cousin that is apparently very excited about it. He went out of his way to get like 3 or whatever it was that came out. Now then, since this area is curved, since you get slowed down if you ever run into something with your overboost, it's better off just to do a standard boost, I feel. And then with the Melons and the Raws, you have just enough to get to the very end here. And you can just start stagger hopping a little bit towards the end. Away. Mr. Chain Impact over here once again. What an amazing boss! Oh my god, he's gonna be the hardest thing ever. As long as he doesn't run behind the pillar, it's about the same as with the flamethrower. He lasts like 3 seconds. Because he's such an amazing super beast like that. But I've never played God Eater. Again, I assume it's good. Have no idea what it actually is. I've never even seen it. There we go. Next we have Attack Mirage. This one I'm actually going to state for. Because yeah, this is one that you actually can screw up with ammo. And there you get the nice hole to the void. That is a PSP exclusive problem. Oh hell. We're doing this again. So sometimes my emulator likes to do this sort of thing for AC3. Kind of unclear why. Not what I was trying to do, but good enough. I believe it spawns more of whatever you kill off, so it's probably best to go for the little guys instead of the big guys. But it also might be a set amount, so who the friggin' hell knows? That's probably something to research at some point. This is easily one of my favorite ones to do with a 1000 MG. Just because it's so ridiculous. Like, go take on an entire army. Done deal. Yeah, if 3rd gen had arms for its AC would be... Well, you know what? That basically sounds like Daemon Ex Machina. That's coming out... I want to say next March or something. Something like that. But yeah, it's basically that. It looks a lot like 3rd gen meets 4th gen, and it's pretty darn nifty. Defend Ruglin. Go deal with Chuckles over here.
You're just in time, Raven. We need all the help we can get.
One's a little bit RNG based, but sometimes the howitzer can actually break their armor even without having them open up. I believe it's something to do with its splash damage, that it can kind of hit them behind their shell. As per usual, just turn left. Barrage. Now, unlike the flamethrower method, he's far less likely to get away from your cone of fire this way. Probably want to stick at a little bit closer range than this, but once he gets himself stuck in the corner, that's kind of the end right there. Yeah, there we go. Really, the main thing that I like about the howitzer method is just consistency. So, you know, you can essentially go and fire from a distance instead of going and, you know, trying to flamethrower the guy and then you realize, oh crap, they already ran behind me and now I gotta reset. So I'd assume, you know, again, something for speedrunners to figure out. So we got water swells. This is probably the most annoying one. Because the spider, for whatever reason, has a tendency to have some odd properties to him. Like I said, I've been playing this game since I was a friggin' like little tiny baby child, and already screwed that up. Ideally, you want to go ahead and boost all the way to the back, and then just only stop once you get to the back, being a little bit finicky with my presses. And then just kind of use one charge getting over here, one charge getting back. There we go, that's how it should be done. Oh, you dick of a spider. Lower them away to be a little bit faster. Now, there's two ways to do this part. Either stand here and kind of blind fire it, because he'll just keep doing that over and over, so you can just sidestep it. So this is my personal favorite method. The flamethrower method involves getting way closer and doing it that way. But unfortunately, yeah, you may sometimes run into a spider breaking your lock for a second, which is just a pain. Thankfully, at this distance, he's far less likely to do his kind of whole webby dealy.
What's been happening here?
Well, Lane, what's been happening is there's frickin' spiders everywhere. Seems like probably a pretty good explanation for what happened here. Alright, so next we got alloy sample. That one takes a little longer if you miss. So alloy sample, in a nutshell, you just basically gotta blow up the guy that's carrying it. We're gonna safeguard it so good that we don't safeguard it at all. Okay, skip cutscene. Right about there. Nope. Had it a little bit too high, so that's the thing. If you get it right, it should take 2 howitzer shots and the MG. There's a pretty good opening to get him. Unfortunately, I aimed a little bit too high there. Obviously, this skips waiting for him to go through all this crap.
Remove the sample and continue on.
Yes, yes, yes. Avoid shots for a second.
The gate is opening.
Open the dang gate. I know, it's a very disguised loading gate. I would never be able to tell. And, yeah. Done. That one was almost designed for speedrunning. Okay. Now we got the boat. The boat is probably the most inconsistent part. Yes, yes. Hello, boat. Over here. Okay. Decided not to hop over it this time. Usually I prefer to actually keep the MG for this. I wasn't intending to drop it there.
Ship will stay afloat.
No, we actually do know it is exactly 10 minutes. Here. 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 We drop down. And we skip that one, and then we go down this one. And we don't get stuck in the terrain like a douchebag. Come on. Thankfully, the 1 second little hops still work here. Want to have some good pickup lines? Nah, I'm good. I'm married, dude. Married and have 2 kids. I don't think I need any pickup lines. Unless it's AC part acquired. I think it's a pretty good pickup line. Yeah. Go down this way, do this sort of thing. Do a few little staggers to get our energy back.
Target recovered. Get
get back before the door closes, because you can actually get through most doors without them closing. Got an awkward turn here. Go for a full booster on this one. Surprisingly, this one I actually do have down pretty okay as far as the route goes, because I really hate the boat. Just not my favorite part. If you go down the right side, you're going to get completely douched. And unfortunately, a little drone is being a dickhole there, so that's going to happen. This way. That one, go down this one. RNG, drop the malums. Go this way and hopefully don't get wrecked by the mines. Oh, crap. This is what I mean about getting wrecked by the mines. You can get completely stuck right here. There's a spot you can land on where you're completely fine and you're pretty safe. Like if you land right under the miner, right here, for example. But yeah, unfortunately, these guys are absolute douchebags. Oh, hello, graphical glitch. Nice to meet you. Here, do this thing. You know, usual kind of escapey type stuff. This is so much faster with the raws. There you go. You accidentally left. How dare you! I'm so offended. So there we go, that is boat done. Unfortunately, like I said, that mine thing, if you land in the wrong spot, you can get douched in place for a few seconds. Like, I want to say... you end up losing a good few seconds there. On we go.
First, clear out sector E31.
So this is the one where you end up being really helpful. Out of curiosity, I went ahead and tried comparing times for running this entire thing. And no, there's really no point in going and running the entire thing. There's no way to make it be an actual win. Well, I mean, I guess technically speaking, you kind of can. If you go through the entire base and you end up going and doing everything absolutely perfectly, you might save a second. So there's that. But if you stay here, they basically just decide, okay, you can't even clear one room, you're fired. So there's that. Using the best machine gun? Exactly. Gotta DPS everything. And so far, you know what, this time actually isn't god-awful. So that's something. Yeah. So we just kind of sit here for a while. And you kind of just hang out until he tells you, okay, you suck. Please proceed to just not suck. Now you get a little bit of extra time for each new area that you clear, and then you just kind of keep going, and it's about a minute, give or take.
Sector N33 clear.
Are we good now?
Roger, Apathy. Head to sector
That line had actually got an upgrade. It wasn't much of an upgrade. It was like, how would you like a really, really lightweight version of this? Which is funny, because in order to actually make the intro AC from AC3 work in Silent Line, usually the lightweight one's the one that got used.
It's taking too long. Hurry.
No. I have 300 more rounds. Oh, the blue one has 250 less. Whee.
Geyser, sector E07 is next.
Oh, the 800 SMG?
C made it to the generators.
There we go.
That's it. The facility is ours.
Somebody else took care of it. Twin Head survives. Yeah, the friggin' 800 MG is the most ridiculous thing that they ever added to the series. Because the 1000 MG already did its job, and then they're like, let's make it lighter. Let's take away a slight bit of the ammo, and then it'll just be the best machine gun without question. That being said, I still end up using the 1000 MG out of stubbornness because I love that thing. Slightly less damage for 300 more rounds. Yeah, but then you also got the 700H. And that thing, that thing's hilarious. Alright, so, general rule of thumb, never fight anything here. Also, don't throw away melons like I just did. That's a bad idea. Double check, because despite going through this thing hundreds of times, I can never remember where these are. Alright, so now we go over here. One right there, come on. Don't run into charging. Do not run over grate. Do not get missile stunned. And we're done here.
Please return to base.
Can I grab the pistol? Am I gonna get pistol grab? Oh, almost. You can get the AC-2 pistol lying on one of these rocks here. Yeah, I don't like this one either, but it can be pretty darn short. Actually, there we go. Go ahead and skip 2 of them because I did it wrong and forgot to actually set the time for the last one. Alright, now we got Destroy Computer. It's Operation Gatecrasher. Gonna go fight the aliens. Actually, just gonna shoot at things for the hell of it. Sometimes stuff can get in your way. And generally speaking, you know, it doesn't make much sense to fight everything in here. But especially the second room where stuff can stun lock you, it's not great. I'm also just gonna be firing for the sake of having obstacles out of the way. Oh hell. I just screwed that up. Come on. Go, what are you doing? Stop hovering. And to keep the howitzer up to this point, that's pretty much the place to use it. Yeah, firing through the boxes, by the way, that might be a potential time save there. Just something to consider. Especially if somebody's going the flamethrower route, I suppose. Get out of my way, Roomba. Unfortunately, these little side-to-side spazzes are kind of my kryptonite. I love doing those things. And it makes doorways annoying. This is the room of no consequence right here. There we go. That's a good door grab. Oh, what the hell was that even? That was just kind of an instinctual finger twitch that I must sabotage my own run. I think the quad might be my favorite legs. Just like the heavier legs, but they're expensive. It depends which one. Like, I've always preferred the heavier verse joints in almost all of them. But, dude, these hover legs are so much fun. Now, despite the fact that it says germ canisters, I'm gonna go for get capsules, because I believe it's actually enough to potentially cancel the waiting period for part 2 of gun emplacements.
Get moving.
All units, keep the AC away from those.
Capsules. Yes, yes. Friggin' Star Wars prequel robots. Roger Rogers. Roger, Mr. Rogers. Oh, crap, I screwed that up. Push button. There we go. Pushing buttons is hard, by the way. Especially doing that correctly.
All data capsules retrieved.
At this point, we just kind of hang out for a while the rain happens.
But in this weather,
So I'm really, really bad at germ canisters. Quite frankly, all of the optional stuff in Ruglin, I never bothered to learn good routes through those because just really don't like them. like eradicate life forms and destroy germ canisters and all that. I just hate those. Hate those with a passion. Always did. Like these swampy organic maps. They're good maps, it would really be nice to be able to see. Normally what you actually want to do here is get yourself a nice little corner of the map, kind of hang out there, you know, plink away at stuff for a bit. The actual borders are pretty easy to tell on this map. I think it's about a 45-second wait. Excuse me? Okay, that's a first. That's a first. Alright, well, he was about to pick us up anyway. That's hilarious. A stupid grenade knocked me out of bounds. Okay, well, we're just gonna count that as close enough. Okay, so now we go for gun emplacements. Personally, I prefer just following the map all the way to the river and handling stuff from there. Excuse me? That shouldn't have been the area yet. Okay, cool. This is what we call an incompetence showcase. Now we're going to go ahead and do that again, this time with less stupidity. Oh, man. Yeah, sorry about that. That has literally never happened in months of doing this. Okay. Fine, we'll do this the normal way then. I like following the border around. Normally, you would want to go and follow the map a fair bit, but point being, if you do it that way, you get all the way to the edge, you just follow the river at that point, and then you just kind of follow where the grenades are coming from and deal with them accordingly.
That's one. More to go.
Unlike the flamethrower route, this tends to make this part right here very... Okay, let's just go down this way. We'll come back for that last one. But yeah, this tends to be a little bit faster from the river. It's 2 howitzers per each one. You don't have to actually run up to them.
Only 2 more.
You know, or just MG and Howie, whatever you prefer.
Just 1 more to go.
And yeah, we'll go back for this last one now, which will be a little bit of a pain to actually see. There we go. Because that was supposed to be the first one.
All targets destroyed. Incoming
Oh,
transmission.
okay. Apparently, because we failed that mission, it wasn't enough to skip this. So we do have a waiting period. Wait! Is the flamethrower actually good? It is actually amazing. It's got some of the highest DPS that you can possibly get. However,
It's up to
obviously close range is a little bit of an annoyance, so that's kind of the thing here. Most of the speedrun routes for this were going and using the flamethrower, just because in most cases it can end most AC fights in like a second. But the thing is, that's kind of the whole point of this, is that there's an argument to be made about potentially doing it faster with a howitzer. And unfortunately I am not doing a very good job showcasing it, because again, I am not a frickin' speedrunner. I'm used to doing challenge runs, not these kind of runs. Usually getting by with stupid shenanigans. Now, we definitely don't want to take part 2.
mission request declined.
Oh yes, it's declined. Screw that. I think the best time I've actually gotten personally was like an hour and a half or something like that. Yeah, it has a really short range. That's the problem. Because consistency is an issue during a speedrun. So, for example, there was consistently an issue where somebody would go and they would be targeting with the flamethrower and put themselves in a position where they would just completely overshoot what they were going at, or the thing might go behind them. But yeah, so that's the thing. And also, it's basically worthless on this map. So if you get lucky,
Raven, let's work together.
and I've already managed to accidentally...
Raven, what are you doing?
Dude, that was all you! You know what? I'm actually going to save her right here. Because she has a tendency to run in front of this thing all the time. So that's kind of the thing here. It's potentially a lot better, but there's a much higher potential for pissing her off. Since, again, once you get red lock, you can basically snipe these guys out of the sky, but... Refinements are needed. I have a feeling either Mr. Airlian or ProCow will be able to make this actually work. Because precision is not my forte. Normally you would just kind of follow this area around and do whatever works. Then you would just fire at them as soon as they landed. I have a feeling this would probably be the biggest overall time save of the run, while all the other ones are just kind of similar, give or take. There we go. Oh, you suck. You know what? No. We're not doing that. Like I said, the times are just kind of like a general frame of reference here, so I'm not really getting anything from loading a save here, except just losing some time. Yeah, Howitzer is really good, it's just this that's a problem. This thing known as this person that's supposed to be helping that has a tendency to fire in random directions most of the time. Like, oh, you're attacking me! No, you're running in front of my gun. There's a very big difference. Oh. Yeah, I love how the utter incompetence showcase has immediately scared off anyone that showed up. Such things happen. Alright, we'll pretend everyone had something better to do. Right here, as soon as they land, I mean, you're still basically aiming at them for when they land, but at least you can do so from a distance instead of trying to close the gap repeatedly. It's kind of cheap, but yeah. It's easily one of my favorite things, though. Because it's basically just a portable little grenade launcher, and it does everything they need a grenade launcher to do, like launching grenades. But yeah, its AoE is mostly a lie. I think with the little shielded MTs, it feels like occasionally you're able to get some kind of ghost stuff out of it, but I don't know. There's more testing needed on that one. That's one thing I've never been able to figure out, but sometimes it does just straight up delete them. Yes, reinforcements. This part's way easier because you can just do this. Flamethrower would be a little faster on those guys, but I don't feel like it's significant enough. Sorry about that. Practically sneezed my headset off. Now, why has she not finished this last one yet? Oh, for sure she had this. Are we done now?
This is Red
Good.
Eye. I'm returning to base.
Friggin' Red Eye.
Enemy units destroyed. Good work.
Red Eye.
Objective achieved.
Just want to point out, again, the whole reason behind loading that first one is basically it would have just resulted in fighting her and that's it. But I wanted to show that it was possible to do without it. I mean, obviously it would be, but hey. Now we got Soldier versus Hobo. This one also a little bit annoying to do with a flamethrower. Mostly because with the flamethrower, you're constantly going to have issues with these guys hopping around. Which is why I saw with the current world record holder, he actually just went for the other route. I feel like this is a little bit faster.
I'll take it. The gate locked. I'm trapped.
Mostly because with the other one you wind up going in with an AP deficit in most cases. So with these ones, you just basically fight them through, and then you can just skip that whole area instead of going and fighting on little MTs all over the place. Gotta be a little bit careful. Since you are using the basic lockbox with this method, it's not going to be as quick about locking onto stuff. Usually you can kind of snapshot them like that. And then we got one left. Moves over here.
Are you clear?
No, actually, I'm kind of gray colored, but, you know, thanks for asking.
Everything's the look. Get in here.
Yeah, ideally you want to just kind of side over boost all the way down, but
Let's go assist.
since I screwed it up, that didn't happen. Let me go ahead and drop a save state right there. I doubt this fight will go wrong, but, you know, things happen. Sometimes he just becomes amazingly competent with his mid-rockets.
I'm surprised you made it.
Why is that?
Watch it. This guy is good.
He's not necessarily good, he just knows how walking backwards works. Yeah, because of how much this guy moves around, he's kind of a pain to get with a flamethrower. Usually you want to just chase him into the back and get him down.
Still got it.
Mr. Street Enemy. Your odds of survival are far better if you don't run in front of the grenade cannon. Just saying. So, okay, he normally likes retreating back to the back wall there. I don't know why he's being completely enamored with his door this time. Oh well. There we go. So normally, he basically just goes back here and hops along this wall, at which point you can completely barrage him, especially if he gets stuck right here.
Return to base.
That was maybe 4 or 5 extra shots than it normally would be. But again, just something to keep in mind. A Rajito Purgatory next. I think Rajito Hell is probably the least consistent. We'll get to that when we get to it.
The program is on one of the lab's computers.
Get out of my way. If you get your aim just right, you can MG the ECM guy out of your way so he doesn't block you on the way back. Fortunately, you are firing and flying blind most of the time here. Out of my way, please. Kind of blind fire down this hallway. Get some of them out of the way. Thing is, if you hit them with a howitzer, they just get deleted instead of doing their blown up animation. Okay, go down this way, do this kind of thing. Oh, now you actually detected someone. That took you a hot minute, didn't it?
Test program downloaded. Get out of there.
Yeah, the ECM guy can just completely block you there. Take positions. Go down here, go down here, go down here. I'm surprised not to see Mr. Cow here today. I thought he was looking forward to this thing. Oh well. I don't know how helpful this will be, but maybe it will be. There we friggin' go. That's Rajito Purgatory. Yeah, as you can tell, this is already way off the mark, because the record is actually a minute 19. Or an hour 19, I should say. What do I want to do? Radar. You know, if this part right here actually came with rockets, this would be a completely different story. See, these guys detect you when you're really far away. Here. Just basically run up to the base of this thing, beat the hell out of it.
Take out that AC. It's wreaking havoc.
Oh, you sound so worried. Check here. Yeah, it's over here. This route through the snow, I will never remember. Over a decade of playing this game, and I still can't remember. Like, I swear, up until maybe 3 months ago, I still consistently thought that if you went back and left, you found the remaining radars, despite the fact that that's obviously not the case. Silent. No. Down here.
Hold on. I'm receiving a
I'm sure you are. So we go ahead and skip that. Yes, it's from Mirage. I know, we already left. We're already handling it. Relax. It's fine. What's this? Ventilation nonsense. Then it should be, let's see, Leviathan, Reheat of Hell, and I think the big guy. Oh, I don't. Screw it up. Probably should have saved before this one, actually. This one I'm pretty good at screwing up. Oh, hello there, Mr. Cow. So, as you may be able to tell, I'm not doing terribly well time-wise, but was showing off a few tricks earlier that might be relatively helpful. I think most of the big tricks are covered. It's kind of just sprinting to the end now. Right, ventilation nonsense. This is about the same as the world record run. Per usual, saving before it, just in case stuff goes south, because it inevitably will. Dagger hover to the top. Get horrible RNG, as you do. Okay, destroyed. Oh, what in the dickery is going on with my extension? For some reason I was recovering only a few little bits there. There we go, that's more like it. Stop them, it's one. Honestly, if they designed a security system where they basically allow somebody to get in because they blew up a security panel, yeah, they should be getting invaded, because what the hell is that? So, pretty much this one stops you in place wherever you are. The main idea is to try and, well, essentially as soon as you beat one of them, you get to the next one, it spawns another one, that sort of thing. Crap. Hoping to get a chance to land. But I'm screwing this up pretty royally. Realistically, you probably don't even need the howitzer for this part. They start getting really aggressive on the second stage. You can just kind of do this sort of thing. Spawn more of them, you dicks. That's not good, too. So the ideal here would not be to continuously let one guy get by. Now more of them will spawn in. No? Really? Interesting. Not entirely sure why that didn't spawn more. I could have sworn there was one more wave coming. But again, from what I've seen from the 2 record runs that I've watched, they can do that part a lot better. So there's nothing really new for me to add to that anyway. And now we got Leviathan. Can probably just pick any of them, but it's fine. Okay, so if there's a way to avoid the grenades, do it. Obviously. It takes 2 rounds to get this guy, which I'm pretty sure is the same as with the flamethrower. Usually you want to actually hire help for this one, because of obvious concerns of grenade launchery shenanigans. Right. Why is that not down yet? That's why we did that. What was your time? 127? I think... I was saying earlier, I think the best that I've gotten was like 134 or something. The top time is 119. Now, want to have a good stagger hover going before this part so that you can just do this sort of thing. No, use buildings for cover, all that sort of nonsense. And up. There we go, that's more like it. And unfortunately didn't get the 2 round. Once again, would like to reiterate, you do want to hire help for this one because they should be able to help make it a 2 round particular thing. Never go around the right side of that building also, because it goes out of bounds. Especially, what's his face, Joker. He's the one I'd prefer for this one because if he gets his hand rockets on this guy, it's gonna make it a lot faster. Oh, don't go out of area.
Return to base.
There we go. Another one down. Go for a friendly picnic. Hang on, which one was the friendly picnic? Remember. Oh, yeah, right. I like getting a jaunty for this one. The one problem with this route, probably the biggest time loss, just the fact that you can't take out Huntress early. Oh, it's better off actually speeding up this first part.
Raven, it's an ambush.
Yeah, it's an ambush. It's going to continue being an ambush. As many times as I've tried backstabbing Huntress in this phase, it wasn't worth it with the howitzer. So the best thing is, again, just to wait. She has no armor on that stupid thing anyway, so she's pretty much a complete non-factor at that point. Not to mention you're more likely to actually hit her with this, with her pretty friggin' random movements. The best thing you can hope for is to get her overheated in this phase. And unfortunately, she doesn't seem to want to do that. Yes, yes.
There's no place for you in this world.
There actually is. I mean, just look at the rental agreement. There clearly is. Usual kind of strategies with this guy, just bum rush with explosive things, he overheats pretty easily. Not doing this fight justice, but, you know the deal. Not exactly a terribly hard thing, eventually he gets stuck on something. Where the hell's Huntress? There you are. Being useful as always. And you're done. No? There we go. Now we're done. Next we got Rahito Hell. That's probably the last and longest bit left.
Return to base.
Actually, no, I think we have to spend like 30 seconds just waiting on the layered elevator. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Hello, Mr. Telemarketer. Then we got Rahito Hell. Fantastic. Again, like I mentioned previously, I'm not actually a good speedrunner, I just know tricks. I'm gonna get these guys out of the way early. There's no more that spawn in later on, so it makes sense to get rid of them now. Actually, pretty much no point in even trying to overboost down this hallway because it's so friggin' finicky. Everything else I'm just gonna save for now. And make it through the door. That whole turn for making it through the door is a bit annoying. It's actually made me consider going and buying the turning enhancement, the not quite codone for this one. So that may be something to consider. Just to get through doors faster. Go ahead and leave the little dealies in here for now. Get rid of these guys, though. Get rid of one of them, at least. Main reason for that is because they can stun lock you with the blades, so you want to try and get rid of them. He's good. Unfortunately, Mr. Nocturne takes a unfortunate amount of punishment. By the way, that little Roomba, pretty good to get rid of that one early. Anything that you're facing on an upward ramp is going to be annoying. Also, a potential time save there. Also being good at getting through doors. Very good potential time save. There's also another one where if you can lead one of these guys into that main hall area... Hell. That was coming, didn't really have anything I could do about it. But if you can lure one of them into this main hall area, it seems to despawn or relocate a lot of these MTs, so that's something to consider as well. Go. Oh, well, I just screwed this up. I was trying to throw away the extensions and accidentally threw away my howitzer. We're probably redoing this. Actually, I'm pretty much going to guarantee that it has to be redone. I'm going to see this through, just in case. But completely screwed the pooch on that one. Ready you. Yeah, I don't really have the damage for this right now. I think it's technically possible, it's just a very bad idea. Because then it just turns into a regular fight at this point. Let's see, what was Mr. Cow's best missed run of Nocturne? Like friggin' 5 seconds? Okay. No time saved there, that's for sure. But again, that's just due to a bad button press. Actually, I should clarify what happened with that button press. I like to have the left-hand thing on my thumbstick. I was basically going and trying to maneuver through the air while going and trying to purge the used-up malums. And that killed it. So that's what I get for being a dingus. Alright, now to beat this, beat Death Hallway, beat Layered, and beat the Giant MT within the next minute. Go for world record. Yeah, I think I'm going to change the route a little bit to whenever picking up the Malum. I'm gonna pick up the Codone as well. Well, not the Codone in this game, but you know. I'm just kind of used to calling it that from late 3rd gen now. I feel like that would make a pretty big difference here. Fighting the guys in here is optional, obviously. Dang it. Keep getting through doors with these legs. Rid of those, so they're not dicks on the way back up. Oh, you... Those guys. Such a pain in the everything. And this is one of many reasons why these guys suck. Yeah, if you get them in this hallway, you're fighting them. Not even a choice anymore. You got that one right? Yes. Funny part is, like I said, if you chase them into this hallway, you can just kind of go and get them deleted. Well, that is to say, sometimes they get relocated back to their original spawn points, other times they get deleted. It's not like you ever have a reason to go back to their respective rooms, but it's just kind of funny. I still don't know what exactly determines whether they get relocated or deleted, but, you know.
Target data acquired. Clear out.
They are... Go ahead and save that right there, for the sake of testing this fight a little bit.
Just do what comes. Don't think about it.
So if he goes for the running away kind of thing, he has a few ways he can go. If he goes for running into the wall, you're basically golden. If he goes for running away, well, it's going to be a bit like this, where you're going and missing a bunch of shots. If he goes for hiding in the pillars, that can be a crapshoot. Sometimes it can be really good. One thing right now, I will say as far as optimizations go, I think the fastest Nocturne fight I've seen was Mr. Cow's. But if he winds up by this door, you know, you can save a few more seconds going out this way. If you got rid of the ones from here earlier, you can do this sort of thing. Can't believe I threw away the howitzer on that first one. That was horrible. Get out of my way. Man, if this thing had splash damage, it would be the worst. Hang on one moment, I gotta take a call.
System engaged.
Intruder detected. Activating security system.
Receiving mission update. Enemy forces have already reached the reactor's core. There's no time to waste. System engaged.
Intruder detected. Activating security system.
Receiving mission update.
Okay, back. So what I was trying to show there is, yeah, that it seems like the best way is just like the other method, just blitz all the way through. Wind up with less AP for this fight. But since you're at a longer distance, it's a little bit safer. It's just that this guy can be freakishly accurate sometimes, but if he gets stuck, you're basically golden. There we go. He's got to be aggressive. The thing is, if you don't line up that shot at the very end, like where you're going, and like if you go right to that little button and you miss it, you're boned. And then you get lasered, and then you're done, and then that's the end of the run. Royal Mist, because of course, he's got the most damage by far. Alright, second to last mission. Be a complete non-issue. Thing is, mostly all he can do is fire the largest from the back. There we go. Already I've screwed this up. If you run into Kaiser, I've noticed that you can potentially get him redirected towards this thing, which might potentially make it faster. But that's just kind of an idea. A lot of runs in that hallway, I wouldn't be surprised. But I feel like that super aggressive strategy seems to be the way to go. Oh, stupid rock. First phase just has to end quick. Oh, hell. Almost got ended myself there. There we go. I think we might have possibly aggressive Kaiser. No. Do not have Kaiser assistance. As Mr. Alien was doing, you know, this kind of hiding right behind his little wings in the back. One of the better ways to do it. He does have a tendency to quick turn and use those lasers, which is a problem. But hey, you usually get this done, so as long as you can find this little hidey hole and make him freak out like this, this is pretty much done. Just don't get stuck on anything. Good. Okay. There's Death Hallway. Wait, that's already done. Offenham is done. That just leaves Layered. So, right now, I mean, Layered I'm not even concerned about. That's a non-issue. Right. Do the 1 second boost trick, go all the way up, all the way over here. Don't need these anymore. Go to the end. Like, as you can see here, even with all of the crap that I've done, even with the horrible play that I've done, this is still doing alright. Overall, yeah, I would think with somebody doing this right, this is definitely the way to do it. As per usual, go here and then you just wait for ages.
We're not sure what it is you hope to accomplish.
Well, it's essentially the equivalent of tech support for all intents and purposes.
What can possibly be gained by upsetting the current order?
Not having random city districts shut down. So again, bear in mind, current time is redoing Leviathan, redoing the big guy, redoing, wait. What am I forgetting here? Yeah, this is far enough. So once it gets like 5 or 6 panels down, you can just keep going down, just write it down. It'll keep spawning stuff up there, but whatever, who cares? Funnily enough, if you jump down before it's all done spawning in stuff, you can just go ahead and completely cancel a lot of their spawns for whatever bizarre reason. This should be the one, right? Yeah, the flamethrower would make the Leviathan and Giant MT go faster. However, if you bring in Joker for the Leviathan, it's pretty much the same. Okay, Chuckle Nuggets, let's do this thing. Yeah, that's not the one I want first, I want that one. You always want the light one first because he can potentially do a lot more damage. The other one, well, I mean, the other one has the heavy weapons, but man, that guy's just brain dead. Are we even kidding? Okay, dead. Use the pillars, do the hiding. Flamethrower would make these go a tiny bit faster, but with the way that they move, honestly, it doesn't matter that much.
It's the controller's core. That shield looks impenetrable.
Well, then you are very wrong, Miss Lane.
It's an energy reactor. Destroy it, and you should neutralize the controller.
Okay, so he ended it.
Damage to the main.
Yes, 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 skip that. He ended it as soon as the doors opened. Wait, how do I... 130.16. How the friggin... Okay, whatever, there we go. Like, let's say 130, right? That was with all of my stupid mistakes. That was with all of the nonsense I was doing here. Also, I don't know why I'm losing save data every single time I load this game again. Whatever. Since I'm apparently now down to 4 frickin' save files? Whatever. Who knows? Who friggin' knows? But yeah, so there we go. 130, it was like 16, but whatever, 130.21 with a bunch of mistakes. So, actually, I kind of want to go and give this a proper attempt, and maybe later today. Seems like an idea. Gotta go entertain the kiddo at the moment, but I think maybe there was some stuff here. That's a personal best at the moment. Again, with mistakes, with reloads, so take it with a grain of salt. But provided that the run didn't die and had a chance to redo it, there's definitely a lot of room here. Because I easily lost more than 15 minutes on sheer stupidity alone. So, there you go. At any rate, yeah, have a good one. Thank you for stopping by. And I hope this helps.